27 JRPGs are still set to release in the second half of 2023. Can you believe it? Who has time to play all these? Well, maybe you won't be able to play all of them, but in this video, you'll at least get a look at what's to come. Which JRPGs are you looking forward to playing most before the year's over? Drop a comment and let me know. Let me ask you a question. Do you find it challenging to maintain healthy eating habits, whether it be because of time or lack of knowledge? Well, then today's sponsor, Factor, has you covered. Factor makes meeting your nutrition goals easier than ever by delivering fresh, never frozen, dietitian-approved meals right to your doorstep. They're ready to eat in 2 minutes, taste delicious, and will keep you going so you can take on the rest of your day. No matter what healthy habit you're trying to maintain, Factor has you covered with over 34 weekly flavor-packed meals. They have everything from keto, calorie smart, to vegan. What I love about Factor 2 is it's no hassle. There's no box of ingredients to prep and cook. You just pop your meal in the microwave, and you have an awesome meal ready to go in 2 minutes, and cleanup is so easy. Personally, I love the keto plan, which has so many delicious chicken meals, like my favorite mushroom garlic chicken thighs with cauliflower rice and green beans. Ugh, so good. The variety of smoothies go great with any meal or just as a snack as well. I'm a strawberry banana guy, but the mango is awesome as well. I have a pretty full schedule and often forget to eat when I'm in the zone working on a video, so Factor makes it so much easier for me to eat something healthy during my day. So if you want to make eating healthier way easier and delicious, head to factor75.com or click the link below and use the code SHELF50 to get 50% off your first Factor box today.
Imagine 80s era pro wrestling meeting a 16-bit turn-based JRPG. That's what you have here with WrestleQuest.
The first thing that grabs you is that gorgeous pixel art. It's super colorful and it has tons of great animations. As you play through the game, you'll make your way through the wrestling ranks with legendary wrestlers. Now, what's funny is this game was actually supposed to be out already. However, they delayed it at the 11th hour, but it will be out real soon. I'll be covering that in an upcoming video, so stay tuned if you're interested in learning more. Two games we thought were lost to time and would never make it outside of Japan are finally coming westward this August. Now, in these two Rhapsody games, you'll play as the daughter of Cornet, Kururu, as she sets off on her own adventures in Rhapsody 2 and even more adventures in Rhapsody 3. And what's cool is that both of these games have been fully remastered and will have English voice acting. So if you've been looking forward to these, you won't have to wait that much longer. Arguably the most anticipated game on this entire list is Sea of Stars. This is being developed by Sabotage Studio, the team behind The Messenger. In Sea of Stars, it's a love letter to 16-bit RPGs, and everything gets a level up, from dynamic lighting, different ways you can explore the world, cool timing-based combat, and much more. Not to mention, it looks stupid beautiful and has music being composed by Yasunori Mitsuda. Now, if you're interested in the game, I believe there's a demo out right now that you can try if you want to see what it's like for yourself, but you won't have to wait that much longer as it comes out on August 29th. Monochrome Mobius Rights and Wrongs Forgotten is set in the Utawari Ramono universe. Man, that whole sentence was quite a mouthful. Now, this game plays much more like a traditional JRPG with full exploration and turn-based combat compared to the other Utawari Ramono games that are more strategy RPGs with visual novel aspects. Now, the game is already out on PC, and the reception was kind of middling to say the least. This was the studio's first outing at a bigger RPG, and it kind of shows. The reviews kind of sit around a 6 or a 5. There's not quite enough for it to be a full OpenCritic or Metacritic score, but if you want to check out some reviews, they are available. Regardless, this might be something worth checking out when it releases this September. Rune Factory 3 Special is a remaster of the 2010 Nintendo DS game. Now, despite this being a remaster and not a remake, the visuals look surprisingly decent. I was kind of surprised whenever I saw a trailer for it. There's also brand new character portraits that look fantastic. So if you haven't quite got your farming RPG fix in, even though there's a ton of those games out, you can look forward to this one this September. Not in a million years did I ever expect us to get Baten Kaitos HD remasters, yet here we are. So this collection will be the two GameCube hidden gem JRPGs. They were both lauded for their gorgeous art style and unique card-based combat system. I've never played either of these games before, but I've always had my eye on them and they looked really cool, so I'm excited to try them both out. The Legend of Nayuta Boundless Trails is kind of an oddity from Falcom as it's a Trails side game. Originally, it was released on PSP and only in Japan, but now we're finally getting a remaster for modern consoles. If you're curious what this game is like, from what I've heard, it plays a lot like E7, but it's also kind of a side-scrolling action RPG. So if that sounds up your alley, then you can look forward to playing this one this September. Probably the game I'm most excited for on this entire list is Eternights. It's described by the developers as a dating action game blending a love story with adrenaline-driven combat as you make the most out of life during the apocalypse. Think Persona with action combat, but maybe a little more over the top. I actually had a chance to play a demo earlier this summer and absolutely loved it, and there's a video on the channel if you want to check it out, but I absolutely can't wait to play more of this game when it releases this September. Now, the short name for this game is Mon-Yu, but look at this ridiculous full name. I mean, that's gotta be the record for the longest video game name ever, right? Now, outside of its insane name, there's really nothing special about it. It looks to be just kind of your typical dungeon crawler where you can create your own team. But if that looks up your alley, then hey, you can check it out this September. It's kind of wild that we're getting new Final Fantasy and new Dragon Quest games in the same year. Now, to be fair, Infinity Strash is more of a spin-off than a main game, but regardless, it looks really cool. This is actually going to be an action RPG based on the popular character Dai, who I believe had its own anime series. Also, I'm not alone in thinking that's one of the worst video game names ever, right? Okay, cool. Again, it looks like it has some cool action combat and a decent story, especially if it warranted its own anime series, so this will definitely be one that I check out this year. The latest in the Fate series, Fate Samurai Remnant, drops this September. Now, to be totally honest with you, I know precious little about the Fate series, but this game looks sick. Set in Edo-era Japan, you play as Iori, a swordsman caught up in the battle over the waxing moon, which grants any wish you desire. I watched a developer walkthrough, and the world and the art just looks gorgeous, and the combat looks pretty fun, so this is one I'm definitely looking forward to trying out. The latest in the long-running Disgaea series, Disgaea 7 Vows of the Virtueless, comes out this October. Now, it continues the 3D look and also has a really cool ancient Japan-looking vibe with a samurai main character. Outside of that, though, it doesn't look like there's a ton new. It looks like they kind of are doing basically the same thing from 6, but hopefully they learned something from 6 and they can improve it. Plus, we won't have to wait for this game to get ported outside of Switch. It'll be on PC and PlayStation at launch, so that'll be a big plus. One of the more intriguing games on this list is Silent Hope. It's a roguelike action dungeon crawler from Marvelous. Now, don't let the visuals fool you, they don't look that impressive, but I don't know, there's something about this game loop that looks like it could be really fun. You go into the dungeon, fight, explore, get parts, upgrade your base, and do it all over again. Now, I don't think it's going to be winning Game of the Year, but I think it could be pretty cool, and I definitely want to check it out. Sword Art Online Last Recollection is sort of a what-if original storyline. Through the game, you can also play with up to 4 players online. Now, I gotta be honest, developer Aquaria, if that's how you say it, doesn't have a great track record, as they've made the last few Sword Art Online games and they weren't great. So I don't have high hopes, but if you like Sword Art Online, then hey, there's a new one coming out this October. CRYMACHINA is an action RPG in which girls fight to survive in a harsh world. You'll experience catharsis as they cry, struggle, and overcome their fate. And what's cool is you can pick between 3 different playable characters for each stage. And throughout the stage, you'll have hack and slash action combat, and you'll have to have some strategic decision making when collecting different weapons known as auxiliaries. Now, I looked at some game footage and it doesn't look incredible, but people seem to be pretty hyped for this one. It is being developed by Furyu, who kind of has, they're like a AA kind of developer, so my hopes aren't too high for this one, but you never know, it might be cool. Maybe the best looking game visually speaking on this entire list is Star Ocean: The Second Story R. This is a remake of Star Ocean: The Second Story, but with the HD 2D art style, and my goodness, this game looks amazing. It also has a revamped battle system where you can call in party members not currently in the party in for attacks. Think of something like Tales of Arise. It also has fresh new character portrait art that looks incredible. This is definitely one of the top 5 games on this list that I'm looking forward to most, and I absolutely cannot wait to try it. Now, I got in trouble for giving the basic plot synopsis for this game in a previous video, so I'll just say that you play as Kiryu, who's now working as a bodyguard. There, you can't get mad at me now. In this game, you'll have 2 distinct new thrilling combat styles, one where it's kind of like an up-close brawler type, and another one where you have some tools at your disposal. It looks really fun. And also you have the entertainment wonderland called The Castle, where you'll have everything you've come to love from the Yakuza series like karaoke and all kinds of other minigames. Now, something I found interesting is that this game is releasing for only $50, even on PlayStation 5, so maybe expect a smaller game here, but nonetheless, this game does look really cool, especially if you're a big Yakuza fan. My insane dream of a Persona Tactics game is finally coming true with Persona 5 Tactica. Once again, you play as the Phantom Thieves, but now you have grid-based strategic combat. The combat does look like it retains a lot of elements from the main turn-based combat system from the core Persona 5 game, like weaknesses, all-out attacks, and things like that. Also, it has a more stylistic look, kind of reminiscent of something like Etrian Odyssey, but I don't really mind it. I think it looks awesome. But regardless, I wouldn't be surprised if this was one of the top 5 JRPGs for me at the end of the year. We won't have to wait too much longer as it comes out this November. One of the most revered retro JRPGs of all time, Super Mario RPG, is getting the remake treatment this November. They haven't said a ton outside of that initial reveal trailer, so it's a bit unclear exactly what's new or what they're changing, but obviously it's getting a gorgeous graphical overhaul, and the original composer Yoko Shimomura is working on the music. I have to admit, I've never played the original, but I'm super excited to check this one out when it launches this November exclusively for Nintendo Switch. Dragon Quest Monsters: The Dark Prince, a brand new entry in the Dragon Quest Monsters series, launches this December. In the game, you play as the villain from Dragon Quest IV, Sorrow. Now he's a monster wrangler, and you'll be catching and battling with all kinds of monsters from the Dragon Quest universe. Most of these games have previously been on handheld, if not all of them, so it's nice for this one to get a nice visual upgrade now that it'll be on a home console system. From what I've seen in the gameplay, it doesn't really look like my kind of game, but hey, this might be for you when it comes out this December. Level 5 is back with a vengeance, and I couldn't be happier, and their upcoming game DECAPOLICE looks incredible. In the game, there's a perfect one-to-one recreation of the world called Decaism, and in this digital world, it holds the keys to solving mysteries in the real world. And what's cool is the game appears to have a sort of pacifist system where you can reason with the criminals instead of fighting them, but hey, there looks to be a pretty cool turn-based combat system as well if you want to do that. There's also a super cool, stylish looking art style, and overall, I'm just really excited for this one, and it makes me super happy to see Level 5 back. And speaking of Level 5, the latest in the Fantasy Life series, Fantasy Life I, The Girl Who Steals Time, is coming this year to Nintendo Switch. Now, the original game was one of my favorites on the 3DS, but now it's getting a nice facelift for Switch. And honestly, it looks to be just more of the same, just bigger, looking better with upgraded visuals now that it's on a home console. And if that's all it ends up being, I'll be super happy for that, and I'm ready to be addicted all over again. My God, this game is still on this list? I don't know what else to say about it. It's one of the longest in development JRPGs since Final Fantasy 15, and every time they show it, it looks amazing, but I just want to play it. There's an event this coming September where they could announce a release date, but at this point, I'm just bracing for another delay until I actually have the game in my hands. Hopefully, this nearly decade-long wait will be worth it. Finally, we conclude with the Suikoden HD Collection. And yeah, I probably said Suikoden wrong, but I don't care, so just save your comment, please. These two games are some of the best retro JRPGs of all time. The main gimmick of collecting 109 characters was and still is incredibly novel and super cool. Suikoden 2 in particular is lauded as one of the best JRPGs ever made. I beat 1 but never played 2, so I'm really excited to check out both of them when they release sometime this year. Now, if you're tired of waiting and want to hear about some cool JRPGs you can play right now, then be sure to check out this video right here.
And special thanks to Reset Switch, Tyler Kuzawa, and the Miyazaki Man for supporting me over on Patreon. To get exclusive videos and other cool perks, consider supporting me over on patreon.com/thegaming shelf. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.